Hey guys, what's up? I am GojiFan98's and welcome back for another new video for today. Today I'm going to continue on for the next episode of GojiFan98's Toho Kaiju-A-Thon. Today I am going to take a look at the Toho's 1962 movie called Gorath. But there are different titles of the movie. The movie is about a rogue star named Gorath who was heading right straight for a collision course to Earth, leaving Japan and the United Nations to work together, create a massive jet pipes in Antarctica to get enough energy for the nuclear energy to help to save the world. As Gorath's gravitation was 6,000 times massive of the Earth. The movie was starting to have a familiar Toho actors make an appearance, like Tazawa was played by the same actor who plays one of the main characters from Battle in Outer Space. Akihiko Hirata was portrayed as Captain JX2. Jun Tasaki was portrayed as JX1. Akira Kubo plays that crazy pilot guy. Well, actually he was a new candidate for an astronaut. He was a goofball in that movie. Along with Kumi Mitsuno also make an appearance in the movie, and this movie is directed by Ishiro Honda. Now there is a lot of history about. Now their only question is, does Gorath have a monster in it? The answer is yes, there is a monster. It's called Maguma, a walrus-like kaiju. Now according to that, the screenplay was written by Takeshi Kimura. In his screenplay, he described Maguma as a dinosaur, but according to Ishiro Honda, Honda ejected it to make it another Godzilla-like monster. No one in the fans community had known sure who came up with the idea about the walrus for Maguma. While Maguma's name never spoken in the movie, he has only had a public poll as Magma. But the movie still contains with Takeshi's original idea, when Dr. Shinoda was played by the same actor who plays Dr. Yamane in the first Godzilla, calling Maguma as a reptile. There were the puppet and the suit for the monster. The body of the suit was handled by the Yankee brothers, Kansura and Yasure, and while the head was sculpted by Tetsuo Toshimichi, while Kazuo Murase was sculpted of fiber-reinforced plastic for massive tugs. But according to what I heard from Wikizilla's kaiju profile of Maguma, that Eiji Tsuburaya was very furious, was very angry about that. Now I know some of you guys already know who this Maguma is. He almost got into the Godzilla movie in one of the ideas for the original draft for Destroy All Monsters, and was supposed to be making an appearance in the final draft of the movie, but he got cut. Now Gorath, when it came here in the United States, about 2 years after Gorath was released in Japan, right here in America, when Brenco Pictures brought Gorath here in the United States, they tried to make Maguma a more menacing monster. Cody was seen with a Vogue and gave him Rodan's roar, and given the name as Wally the Walrus. But when Brenco found Maguma was laughable, they decided to remove him from the film. But we get a glimpse of seeing his corpse when the United Nations V2L fired his laser at nothing, but you can still have a glimpse of seeing his corpse after that. The legacy of that movie, the V2L from the Gorath was later used for Science Patrol's V2L from Ultraman series, and one of the astronauts using a gravity gun was later used for a spiderweb shot for Ultraman series. And speaking of Ultraman, an actor who later portrayed Ided from Ultraman, he made an appearance in this movie, plays one of the astronauts. Yes, I probably figured that you guys probably know who this actor is and the character, but in English dub for Ultraman, he's only called Ito for an unknown reason. In the beginning of the movie, JX1 was destroyed by Gorath when they had a report. They had to send the data to the United Nations and Japan, so they had to figure what they're going to do with it. When there were options, either they're going to try to blow it up, but they soon learned Gorath's mass is now 6,200 mass of the Earth's gravity. Because blowing up Gorath became impossible for JX2 when they sent a report. And yes, I really like Gorath. This is my all-time favorite movie. Now, according to what I heard from Honda, about the year after when Gorath was released, director Ishiro Honda calls Gorath his top favorite film except for that monster. The reason why they include that Maguma, it's because Tomoyuki Tanaka thought that he wanted to add any monster to improve the box office gross, like he did for the Mysterians. Speaking of that, the original story was written by the same guy who wrote the original story for the Mysterians. So yeah, the music, oh man, I really love that music in the movie, but it's not composed by Akira Ifukube. It was composed by another guy, which is, I don't know who this guy is, because there are really so many. I mean, I don't know how I pronounce that guy's name who composed Gorath. So anyway, after Maguma's suit was later used in that movie, the suit of Maguma will later be reused by Super Eye Production and became Tora in the episode of Ultra Q to add a whisker onto the face of a costume. Now, the legacy of Maguma. After Maguma's debut appearances in the Japanese version of Gorath, Maguma was originally supposed to be going to make an appearance in the Godzilla franchise, started in the original draft for Destroy All Monsters, titled All Monsters Attack Direct. Maguma and Baragon was going to defend the Keelak base in East of Japan for the Japanese self-defense force. But this idea was discarded and edited to replace Maguma and Baragon with Godzilla, Anguirus, and Rodan to defend Keelak's base in the final draft. Now in the final draft, Maguma was supposed to be to attack Paris and destroy Arc Triomphe. But Maguma was dropped before the film began and replaced with Baragon. But when Baragon's suit's ear was worried about his suit maker who were working on the new head, worried that the suit's ear might interfere during the underneath an Arc Triomphe. So they choose Gorosaurus to take his part after all. So, Gorath was later be showed up in Godzilla Final Wars as a Monster X's disguise. After Godzilla destroys Gorath, the Monster X shows himself when he confronts fighting against Godzilla. But also that, according to that, the official timeline for the Kiryu saga had to ditch Gorath from destroying humanity. It was actually Maguma who was doing it. But the moon was destroyable in Gorath in that film, but in the retcon version of it, the moon was completely visible in the sky into a Kiryu saga timeline movie, which is Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Godzilla Tokyo SOS, where you could see the moon. That's totally different timeline for each Godzilla series that has connected with Gorath. But according to what I know, my mother said that if the moon was destroyed, we can all die. If we don't have sparkling in the water or whatever. But it's maybe true, but we cannot survive without the moon. But I believe my mother. She might have a lot of theory for her opinion, but I doubly believe her. But it was nice to have Akihiko Hirata make an appearance along with Kenshi Sahara, Easton Atamoto, but who later portrays a toy maker guy in Godzilla's Revenge, or also known as All Monsters Attack. Well, that's all I have to say for Gorath. Stay tuned to the next episode. I am going to reveal for the next year will be as Atragon for 1963, the first introduced manga. Stay tuned for that movie for my review of Atragon. Stay tuned. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. And I'll always stay with you fans and GojiFan98's warns me for more and do more videos in the future. So yeah, so stay with you fans as always. So remember, my friends, bye.